Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the program. We apologize for that break in transmission. Now, in conclusion, we're going to ask Peter Ejiofor just my two questions in one. First of all, it's infrastructure.
Yeah.
When you talked about consumption, you said Nigeria, we are consuming country.
Yeah.
We have what's preventing us, because we have investors, big investors to set up plants. Recently, China is coming. He said they are coming to set up electric vehicle plant somewhere in the country. So the infrastructure that is required for technology, for us to develop even the cybersecurity gadgets, hardware-wise, why are we lagging behind? And secondly, why is it that we do not have most of these our data uploaded in a way that we can trace it anywhere in the country? In fact, of what advantage is that to Nigeria?
Okay, so I'll try to summarize.
Yes, please.
And then make it as simple as possible. Now, data, all right, usually has to be captured from the sources. Okay, if for example in Nigeria, if you give birth to a child, all right, the data is captured from that point in time. All right, it's in the system, and it's available to be validated by different sources that are required to validate that information. Okay, so if you import vehicles into this country, as soon as it's entering into the country, the record of those vehicles are also shipped into the system, so it's captured from them. And so if such vital information, okay, if you're building a house, if you're buying the land, all of that information is captured into the system. Today, I know that a number of them are now being computerized. Yeah. But whether they are connecting them to the central database, there's a general central base where all of these things are pulling into or pushing into, is what we don't know. All right? BVN started from somewhere, just in the middle of nowhere. It was on its own. Name started from somewhere, just in the middle of his own. It was on his own. Voters registration started on its own. It was on its own in the middle of nowhere. Now, all of this data, I know that government said they are trying to bring all of this data together, validate them, connect them together, and create a single database that they can reference.
Yes.
So if all of this is put together, and then they can filter it and then take out things that are irrelevant, it's a lot of work, all right? And it will cost money. But is government setting plan in place and providing capacity for all of that? That's another ball game. What we see most times are reactionary. There's a problem, we create something. If we have plan, development plan over a period of time, and then we can determine where are we today in terms of number of people. What are we going to need in the next 5-6 years? What is our growth? How far can we grow? At what percentage? At what rate can we grow? And what do we require? The doctors that you need in the hospitals. How many doctors do you need in a year? Okay, and why do you need those doctors? How many nurses do you need? Is it that you want to reduce the number of people that are killed up and all of that? So all of that determine planning. I think that we, as a country, we really don't plan, in my view.
Okay.
And even if they plan, we are not part of that plan. We don't know it. We can't key it. We can't connect with it. We can't plan with that. So there's no plan, and so things are done ad hoc as the need arise, and so there's no sustainability.
All right.
We know that's how things go haywire within the society. Why development is slow. All right. And if those plans were there, then government would make the financial commitment to fund those plans, and then put in place performance measuring mechanism to measure the performance and the productivity, and be able to use the value to impact in other part of the economy. And we can see that. But those things don't happen. You go to government to make money, that kind of thing. So commitment is required, and I think that we are seeing some of that in this current government. We're seeing some plan, okay, and if it's sustained over time, maybe we can see some good result. Infrastructure is in place, data is centralized, and then we can see some of those impact.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Peter Ejiofor. Thank you so much for your time. He is cybersecurity expert. Welcome. Thank you so much for the program. I wish we could have this conversation all over again, but I'm grateful that you have given us your word. Other times you're going to oblige to our request and our invitation.
Pleasure is mine.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And on that note, we are done with the first phase in Just Africa. We're going to break. By the time we return, the program continues to stay with us.
On the 19th of August 2025, Paris will come alive with the prestigious People's Choice Governors Awards taking place at the Gauche Hotel, Paris. The prestigious People's Choice Governors Awards is designed to celebrate governors who have contributed immensely to their states in different countries across the world. If you are a governor who's gone above and beyond to deliver transformative projects in your state and country, then this award is for you. To partake of the Governor's Excellence Awards this year taking place in Paris, all you have to do is send an email to supnexus.com with the words, "I accept," and we will get right back to you. You can also send a WhatsApp message to the WhatsApp number scrolling on your screen right now. You don't want to miss Paris for anything, and we are looking forward to celebrating you and your achievements this year. So contact Soup Nexus to make that happen.
Anthony Onyemaechi Elumelu was born on the 22nd of March 1963 in Jos, North Central Nigeria, to Susanna Dominic Elumelu, originally from Delta State. Tony earned a degree in economics from Ambrose Ali University, where he laid the foundation for his future career, and then furthered his education at the University of Lagos, where he obtained a master's degree in economics. His academic journey also includes attending the Harvard Business School, where he completed the Owner of President Management program, equipping him with advanced business management skills. Tony currently serves as the chairman of Ayers Holdings, Transcorp, and United Bank for Africa, UBA, demonstrating his significant influence in the banking and investment sector. He founded the Tony Elumelu Foundation, which aims to empower African entrepreneurs through comprehensive training, mentorships, and funding opportunities. In addition to his professional achievements, he's also a family man, married to Dr. Adele Vivian Elumelu, and together they have 7 children. In 2020, his efforts were acknowledged when he was named one of Time's 100 most influential people in the world. Anthony Elumelu's net worth is estimated to be around $700 million, a testament to his successful ventures and strategic investments. Elumelu continues to be a driving force in the business world, advocating for sustainable economic growth and empowering the next generation of African entrepreneurs.
Over the past 10 years, we've seen that the impact of many lawmakers have been underrated. If you are playing a pivotal role in enacting laws and shaping policies for your community, society, or nation, then this is for you. The People's Choice Legislative Excellence Award celebrates the individual achievement of lawmakers who have worked tirelessly to enhance the lives of their constituents and contribute positively to their entire well-being. Now, if you're wondering where this will be taking place, it will be taking place at Radisson Blu Dubai Creek on the 25th of September 2025. To take part in this award, all you have to do is send an email to supnexus.com or send a message to the WhatsApp number scrolling on your screen. We want to see you at Radisson Blu Dubai Creek. Wouldn't you rather be there?
Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the program. We are done with our conversation with Peter Ejiofor, tech expert and very core when it comes to cyber security. We had a good time having that conversation. Olumide, I was interested in what he talked about concerning Nigeria, putting up our data out there and how this data, serve as an advantage to us, because I was looking at, taming corruption, taming criminality, and taming the activities of those people who commit unscrupulous. Yes, and so that's what I was looking at. And he said something that in the Western climate abroad, if you engage in any act, no matter how you run, you'll be caught.
Yes,
and I'm waiting to see that in Nigeria. Anything you do.
He said it. Data is the new oil, and until we start to see data as something vital for every economy or economic development, that's where we should be heading now. How we can access so much data. How you, for instance, can sit down here and without anything, people can actually know what you've done. There was a time a friend of mine said he went to the bank and something happened, and they brought out all the details, all the transactions
that carried out.
Everything was brought out, and they refunded the money back. They traced the person, everything. So that was why he said that, crime, it's only a matter of time before you get caught up in it, advanced crimes. So that's where we should be looking at. Now, coming down to Nigeria, coming down to Africa, first of all, we have to bridge that gap. There's still digital literacy there. We need to bridge that gap. Then we need to also funding, access to infrastructure. These are some of the things that would help us scale up. Then also how we can now incorporate it into schools, not just formal learning, informal learning. I'm looking at a situation whereby digital education could be taught informally, not just in the schools.
And be taught in a different kind of language apart from.
Yes, exactly. I actually wanted to ask him that. How can we incorporate Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa into digital education?
Okay. Well, in the second half, we will delve into the critical intersection of data, innovation, and enterprise leadership in rapidly changing global economy across the Africa. Business strategy is no longer built on instincts alone. It is increasingly driven by data analytics, real-time simulation, and forward-thinking leadership from boardrooms to government ministries. The call for evidence-based decision-making is redefining how we plan for growth, resilience, and sustainability. We're going to break. By the time we're back, our conversation continues. Do stay with us.
Wole Soyinka, born Akiwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka on July 13, 1934, in Abeokuta, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, stands as one of Africa's most celebrated literary figures and a global icon of resistance against oppression. His life and works reflect an unwavering commitment to justice, culture, and the transformative power of art. Soyinka was born into a Yoruba family in colonial Nigeria, an environment that exposed him to both traditional African culture and Western education. His father, Samuel Ayodele Soyinka, was a school headmaster, while his mother, Grace Eniola Soyinka, was a devoted Anglican. This blend of indigenous and colonial influences deeply shaped Soyinka's world. Soyinka attended Government College Ibadan and later proceeded to the University College Ibadan, where he studied English and literature. Soyinka completed his education at the University of Leeds in England, earning a degree in English and later a doctorate degree. In the late 1950s, Soyinka began working as a dramaturgist at the Royal Court Theatre in London. However, his passion for storytelling and cultural preservation drew him back to Nigeria, where he founded two theatre groups known as the 1960 Masque and the uLesson Theatre Company. Soyinka's works, often a fusion of Western dramatic techniques and African themes, address universal issues of justice, freedom, and human dignity. His early play, titled A Dance of the Forest, which was introduced in 1960, written to celebrate Nigeria's independence, critically examined the nation's socio-political trajectory, setting the tone for his career as both artist and activist. Soyinka's activism became more visible during Nigeria's post-independence years. In 1967, during the Nigerian Civil War, he called for a ceasefire between federal forces and Biafran separatists. This led to his arrest by the military government, and he spent 22 months in prison, where he wrote a short drama titled The Man Died, Prison Notes, a harrowing account of his imprisonment and a profound critique of authoritarianism. Soyinka has authored more than 20 works, including plays, novels, poetry, and essays. In 1986, Soyinka became the first African to win the Nobel Prize of Literature, an achievement that brought global recognition to African literature. Soyinka remained an outspoken critic of oppressive regimes, often at great personal risk. His activism extended beyond Nigeria, addressing global issues of injustice and human rights. During periods of military rule in Nigeria, he went into exile, continuing to write and speak against tyranny. Today, Soyinka is celebrated not only as a literary giant, but also as a symbol of resilience and moral courage.
Lawyers are concerned about several issues when it comes to artificial intelligence, AI, including data, privacy, compliance, and job displacement. Will AI really take jobs away from lawyers? In this special report, Bayo Olaoye addresses one of those concerns, job displacement for lawyers, as a result of the introduction of artificial intelligence. Will artificial intelligence make lawyers jobless? The short answer to that question is no. There are three reasons why AI will not take away jobs from lawyers, according to experts. First, AI systems being developed for the legal industry are primarily co-pilots. Secondly, there are numerous tasks AI simply won't do because legal implications prevent it. For example, litigation. AI cannot make court appearances, unless, of course, nations radically change their constitutions to allow robot lawyers to stand in court, which is highly unlikely. Additionally, for lawyers involved in strategic work, such as security, meeting new clients and existing ones, or serving on boards, AI cannot replicate the human touch. AI lacks the commercial acumen required to build relationships with clients and navigate complex problem-solving tasks. AI cannot engage in the strategic aspects of legal work that require understanding human behavior, negotiating, and making judgment calls. According to experts, AI systems built for the legal industry are designed to function as co-pilots, helping lawyers become more efficient but still requiring human oversight. For instance, AI can draft a clause for you, but as a lawyer, you must ensure that the clause makes sense. AI can assist with tasks like legal research, drafting legal documents, contract review, and identifying red flags. However, human involvement and judgment remain essential, as all systems, particularly large language models, can sometimes be confidently wrong. Despite its potential to assist in many areas, there are numerous tasks AI will not do for lawyers, either because it lacks the necessary capabilities or because it is unnecessary. Some might argue that AI makes lawyers more efficient. A law firm that would typically hire, say, 8 legal associates annually might now only need 5 using AI to assist those remaining associates. While that may be true in some cases, it does not necessarily mean lawyers are losing jobs, as AI will create new roles and open up career paths for lawyers, according to AI industry experts. For instance, AI companies build products for lawyers, require legal professionals just as much as they need AI researchers and engineers. Lawyers are domain experts who know the pinpoints and can guide the development of legal AI tools. In addition, there is the need for lawyers who will build a career in AI governance, working on AI policy auditing, AI existential skills, and AI enlightenment. In fact, lawyers will play a bigger role in AI governance than we can ever imagine. For instance, the AI alignment problem is one of the biggest challenges in the industry. There is ongoing research on whether we can solve the alignment problem using the law. As it is known, law is the most democratic aggregation of human values. How do we evaluate the ability of AI systems to follow the law? Or how do we ensure that AI systems do not misinterpret the law in case of unforeseen contingencies? Humans have the Supreme Court to interpret laws when faced with complex scenarios. What will be the Supreme Court for AI systems? These are questions that require both lawyers and AI engineers alike to ensure compliance. In fact, universities are recognizing the growing need for lawyers to build careers in AI. Many institutions are now offering master's programs that focus on intersection of artificial intelligence and law, preparing the next generation of legal professionals for the evolving job market. To wrap up, while the rise of AI will undoubtedly transform the legal profession, it will not cause the widespread job loss that many fear. Instead, AI will make legal teams more efficient and open up new career paths for lawyers. Bayo Olaoye for Souk News.
Idumota Market. Eko Idumota, once a residential neighborhood, is home to Idumota Market located on Lagos Island. It is one of the oldest and arguably one of the largest markets in West Africa. Idumota is a historic neighborhood adjacent to the Lagos port that facilitated the slave trade and later, under the British indirect rule, it surrounded to exports that fueled the colonial enterprise. Idumota was also the location of an armed forces remembrance cenotaph called Soja Idumota, built as a monument to Nigerian soldiers who served with the West African Frontier Force. An Eyo Masquerade statue and a clock tower are also some monuments at Idumota. Idumota Market is so popular that large sales are recorded as early as 7 a.m. The market is made up of hundreds of locked-up shops occupying several multi-story buildings, with some measuring about 5 or more floors. In 2010, the Lagos State government demolished some illegal structures in order to improve vehicular and human movement in and around the markets. During weekdays, the neighborhood of Idumota is densely populated by shoppers, traders, and bus passengers. From the Carter Bridge, ascending into Lagos Island, passengers can see the neighborhood before disembarking at their final destination. Idumota Market accommodates the substantial inflow of imported goods. The bulk of import from abroad are routed first through Idumota and then on to other markets through Nigeria and other West and Central African countries. The energy of private Idumota traders and wholesalers facilitate this activity, where millions of US dollars worth of wholesale is exchanged daily. Idumota Market, Souk Enlightenment.
Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the program. Now we have our guest who is joining us live. not in the studio, however, virtually. The second part of the program, we're looking at Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, rather. Not Goodluck Jonathan. Dr. Goodluck Norum is the head of the Department of Business Administration and director of the Center for Data Analytics and Simulations at the Caleb University in Mota, Ogun State, Nigeria. He's a seasoned academic and strategic development expert. Dr. Norum has spent years championing the role of data-driven decision-making in business management, economic planning, and institutional development. His work at the CDAS focuses on integrating simulation models and data analytics into education policy formulation and enterprise strategy. He is widely regarded as a forward-thinking educator and administrator, mentoring the next generation of business leaders and data scientists across Nigeria. Good afternoon to you and welcome to the program, Dr. Goodluck Norum. Could you kindly unmute your device so we can hear you? Dr. Goodluck, if you can hear me, kindly unmute your device so we can hear you. Okay. So whilst he's trying to put that into to work on that, so it's about data analytics and how this information at the disposal of our guest who is expert in the field of use that effectively in the field of business development, economic development, and also how to facilitate transactions among organizations, how to build organizations to use data to bring about a transformation and efficiency in administrating over the business environment. And I'm glad that he's an academic person is coming from that part. Before now, if we look at the data and how it's been utilized to drive not only academic but business, economy, and development, currently what we have now is being quite different from what it used to be obtainable, most especially with the innovation that we currently have in computer. And our current conversation with the guest, Peter Ejiofor, actually explained it broadly. So now I want to look, most of the time we speak about research and development and how it is not the purview or it should not be the primary duty of the government, and how private organizations should be the one championing that in collaboration with tertiary education, how to use that to champion or bring into reality what we've been speaking about. Data is now the real crude. So Dr. Goodluck Norum, welcome once again to the program.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you. Many thanks for joining us. Now, my first question will go this way. From your position as the intersection of business, education, and data analytics, how would you assess the current level of data-driven decision-making within the Nigerian enterprise and public institutions?
All right, thank you so much. Looking at the state of technology right now, especially linking it to education, it is observed that quite a lot has been done. People, analysts, thought leaders at Nigeria and by extension Africa is still young when it comes to technology, especially digital education. All right, but the truth is, even the little that has been done is quite a lot. It's quite massive compared to, let's say, 4 or 5 years ago. So a lot has been done in international space technology. And then when you look at all of that vis-a-vis public and higher institution, you find out that a lot actually has been done. So I would just say that it's an interesting landscape, it's an interesting space with promising potentials.
Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the program. Dr. Goodluck Noram, are you still with us?
Yes.
For being with us on the program. Now, I'm trying to look at not only making comparisons, but how do we bring both data analytics and organizations, of what significance is it to organizations, most especially in the public space, and how have you been working with that to advance your cause?
All right. Looking at the relevance of data analytics to organizations, of course, back in the days, decisions were made based on intuition, made sometimes based on emotions. I mean, it's not as if people don't still make decisions in that regard. People still do that kind of decision. However, looking at the way things have developed into, you discover that data-driven decision is actually very, very key in driving organizations. And then how has data analytics helped in driving this decision? Of course, every action, every activity organizations engage in leads to a lot of data being generated. And for whatever reason, this data has to be mined, this data has to be analyzed in order to get a lot of insight. As much as possible, data analytics is very.
Oh, okay. So sorry. Apologies for that, Dr. Goodluck Noram. It seems that our network and our connection is not actually giving us the best that we can actually give to our viewers at the moment. So we'll get across to you subsequently. Yeah. So looking at the relevance between data and organization, which is one specific question I needed him to address, but it looks like the network will not let us. But I see it as forthcoming for the public organization. What do you think?
Well, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. Our former guest also mentioned something about cloud, accessing the cloud.
Yes.
Now, I don't think we fully utilized that. We're still making use of hard drives, this, that, but in advanced countries now, everything is in the cloud. So when they say, where's the information? Where they say it's up in the cloud. So I think we need to start from there. How do we transition into that? Data is the new gold. It is the tool, or should I say, it is what every country would use in meeting out any economic policies. If we're going to take any policy, any direction, we need data. Whatever research we're doing today, it's still data. And what are we using it for? So now you spoke earlier on about research institutes partnering with institutions, higher institutions or polytechnics and all that. All that data, let's say all that data is gotten. How do we maintain that data? Where can we be stored so that generations to come can access that? But let's go back to our guest.
Yes. Okay, welcome back to the program, Dr. Goodluck Noram. So I'm not the only one in the studio. I have a colleague, Olumide Shokoya. He will be asking you our next question.
All right. So thank you very much, Olumide Shokoya. Now, my question now is, how do we ensure that Nigeria, for instance, move to a level whereby data is actually accessible, data is actually mined, data is actually preserved for generations to come? I guess we lost.
I guess we lost him again. Okay. Well, yes.
Well, so I mean, like I was saying, for every economic policy, we talk about sensors, we talk about this.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel somehow when I give certain statements or using figures, because where's the data to really prove that? When you say, okay, we're over 200 million population, do we have the accurate data to actually say it's 200, it's 230 million population? So that's how much we need data, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa. And it would also help, trade amongst ourselves. So I think I'm not putting all the blame on government. I'm not putting all the blame on government. The private sector needs to also do a whole lot more. We need to also see how we can get data access into the rural communities, not just urban, because all these things we talk about urban.
Focus is on the urban centers.
What about the rural? I want a situation whereby informal education itself can thrive because we have limited schools. Let's face it, we have limited schools in rural areas. But what if a student or a young student can be in his house with a tab and he's learning online, he's learning coding, he's learning mathematics, he's learning science online in the comfort of his home.
But even at that, sometimes I tend to think that for those who give priority to virtual learning to get educated using them, must have a foundation before they can, because if not, the intention or the purpose of learning virtually, I think, is almost defeated. So because after learning, you need to be trained or for someone to put you through whatever you're learning. And of course, the knowledge to be able to manipulate the interface of the digital interface, the computer system and all of that. You could remember when the recent jam and what was responsible for the failure. So in that specific case, the students need to be more aware on how to manipulate the interface of the same software they're using to write the exam. That's in that aspect. But for others, they need to have the same thing as well, because if not, so we don't have the same woeful failure or inefficient or utilization of this hardware that we have at our disposal.
I think that this is also where e-books, electronic textbooks can also come in, which will be tailored to specific language, so that you can actually learn ABC 1, 2, 3 in your language.
In your language,
and you have a voice.
You seem to be preaching this language specific. Is it because China and
China,
India,
yes,
they learn in their local language and they seem to be making
and they are making headways. They're making headways in technology. They have. How will I put it? They have said, no, we can actually do this without even speaking English. We are doing it now. So imagine if we have scientists speaking Yoruba, Igbo. We can actually do it.
All right. Well, on that note, this will be a good place for us to draw the curtain on the program, Just Africa Today. Many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Souk News TV. My name is Oyim Priye Kurumala. Many thanks for watching. Until I come your way again tomorrow, do have yourself a splendid day ahead.
And it's been a pleasure staying with us. Let's do this again tomorrow. I am Olumide Shokoya. Keep watching Souk News Television.